All right, this is Unpopular Opinion 601, Session 4. We've been meeting up 4 weeks. My name is Albert.
My name is Marcus.
Vance.
Monique.
Hey, I'm Quinn.
And we're going to talk this Friday about a few different things. Everybody's got different things on their mind. What was the name of that guy we talked about earlier who was the white guy? Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Sex trafficking.
In the land of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, this guy has a case that's as old as both of them, if not older, and he was trafficking to the presidents and the stars.
And dog, he got a huge smile on his face in all his photos.
Oh yeah, you saw that one I sent you.
Yeah, he chilling. He looking comfortable.
Yeah, real comfortable. Okay, no problem.
What did he get? Just like probation?
He got probation.
That's what money and relationships get you. That could be biased.
When you're
But that's
serving
my statement.
little girls to the president, or former president, allegedly, you can get community service and club fed.
The Me Too movement is pulling up all the older everybody.
Oh, they going hard.
Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
I mean, this case been going on since what?
I don't know, for a long time.
Since 2012?
Since 2007.
2007.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so if he ain't got to go.
But like it's over with now. I mean, not over with, but he's been sentenced by a judge.
Mm-hmm.
So all he
Just
has is
probation.
community service.
Yeah,
Probation.
so he can talk about it, smile about it.
Fault in the judge. They're trying to re-pull it because they're finding fault in the judge over the case.
So they're bringing it back up.
But you can't get tried for the same thing twice, right?
That don't mean he wasn't acquitted.
He wouldn't acquit it, yeah. It's not a trial. They gave him a sentence that wasn't justifiable to what he did. You know how many counts he had. You know, they basically tried the girls as prostitutes and whatnot.
Oh yeah, he was straight up pimp.
You know, he flew them out to a private island, and you know, they did what they do.
How many prominent people are we talking about here?
But you know, sometimes people just want somebody to talk to and listen to them.
Okay.
Yeah, but that ain't
They
okay.
traveled, like one guy traveled from Texas to Florida just to talk to somebody. Oh, okay.
Sometimes you gotta
Just wanna
express your
talk to
feelings,
somebody.
you know.
In person. Huh?
In
Talk,
person.
you talk to a
Sometimes
14-year-old. What
Sometimes-
you talk to a
sometimes-
14-year-old? Yeah,
sometimes-
what do y'all have in common?
just need to be held.
Nah,
Someone to
he
listen to
wasn't
you and
doing
just
no
hear you.
holding. Excuse me, I was gonna say holding, but holding.
I'm just
So he was
I'm just
14-year-old.
bullshitting.
that was one of his clients. He was the pimp to the 14-year-old girl.
Okay.
So he arranged for the guy to travel to have sex with her.
Okay, so he allegedly was pimping these girls out.
But he's also a sex offender himself.
Right.
So I'm trying to understand why he's not under the jail.
Yeah,
Anyways.
seriously.
Just like Marcus said, relationships with different people, you got different relationships. So with the right people, you can get out of jail. You don't have to worry about all that what R. Kelly and Bill Cosby going through.
Okay.
Well, he's going to have to worry about it now. They're bringing him back up.
13 months is what he served, and he was a person that was on furlough. So basically, not furlough, but he would go in for his time at night, if I remember correctly. He was able to conduct his business as normal during the daytime. So he wasn't, you know.
Oh, he's one with his
Oh,
sleep.
so basically,
He went to like
he went to bed, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just couldn't go to bed at his house.
Yeah.
Look, he took
I'll
a
do
plea
that
deal.
time.
Right. What kind of punishment is that?
He took a plea deal. I mean,
He took a plea deal.
he snitched
pled
on
guilty
somebody.
And only spent 13 months in the Palm Beach County Jail.
He snitched some people out then.
And it was on work release.
Yeah, so 14-year-olds, and
What money can buy you?
I wonder how much they was getting though.
Who? The
14-year-old,
The,
yeah.
well, the victims?
no matter, man.
What they
I
sell
was just,
for?
I just said it's curious.
They're scarred for life.
Yeah, traumatized. I feel you on that.
14-year-old, you got Bill, allegedly
You
some old
Old,
white man got on you.
wrinkled men with worms on top of you.
Oh my gosh, what type of fantasies you be having over there, Q?
None. Nightmares. Okay, it's a nightmare.
I haven't got too deep into it. Have they ever named any of the high-profile people that were involved?
Well, he used to be friends with the current president and the president before Bush. So, high-powered friends that are Democrat and Republican, as far as I understand it.
Mm.
Allegedly.
But they really can't. They really don't know if Clinton or Trump was one of those people who.
Oh, no, they went to his island.
Oh, they did go to the island.
Yeah. I mean, like, literally, he had a private island, but ain't no...
So this.
I wasn't there, so it's alleged to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It seems like all these rich brothers with islands or like lands and properties be doing the most craziest stuff, bro. What's my man's that movie that was based off? It was called Fox something, where he had like all those wrestlers that was and there's a private camp or whatever. I'll come back to that. Let's stay on this topic. I'll come back to my man.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about.
No clue. Nah, I just ain't talk that direction.
Yeah,
So,
I got you.
so
We'll come back to this. I'll come back to my man. Let me look it up real quick.
okay.
Hey, hit the power real quick, man.
All right, we're gonna take a quick intercession. All right, the mics are hot. The mics are hot. All right, so everybody speaking to the microphone. Just remember, face the mic. I'm gonna cut this out. We talking shit.
All right.
We are.
All right. So we kind of diverged off of the creepy white man selling young white girls for sex tip with the Jeffrey Epstein. We kind of started talking about cam girls, and I guess in the vein of cam girl versus a creepy white dude pimping you out, it's still pimping, but at least you're at 18. You have the supposed autonomy of self to be able to pimp yourself out for money.
Bang brothers.
But how do you know I was my 18? You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing because like a teenager, if they're tech savvy, they're gonna be like, okay, set up my
What type
account.
Who's monitoring that?
Yeah.
Who's checking ID?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have to have some sort of vetting process.
I doubt it.
Yeah, they got to vet in some sort of way.
I mean, but like you said, who checking ID? If if a girl say she's 18, who gonna go back and check? You gonna get a birth certificate?
I don't know. How about y'all apply for the application? Tell us how that works out.
No, I'm good.
Undercover investigation work.
We have all those
It's
details.
like somebody's ID. Like they say, got an older cousin,
Fake
sister
ID.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you get your fake ID. So
Just
I
use
mean,
theirs.
you still can do it. It still can be done. So I mean, I don't see how they, like you said, fake ID. Anyway, go. You can get on if you want to.
But they're in control.
Mhm.
Also, so that's just the difference. There's no physical interaction. They're completely in control, and they're spending crazy profit, from what I understand.
Well, you got those that were doing the not Facebook, but the is it Instagram or is it what's the social media that you do with the pictures? Snapchat.
That's Instagram and Snapchat.
Right.
Okay, you got Snapchat, Instagram, and some other social media that I don't use. I'm old.
Twitter.
Platform.
There was some platform that they were using that they were
They're the only
getting,
platforms I'm aware of.
getting money from men from basically web solicitations without the sex, but send me a dirty pic and here goes $10 to your cause of nakedness.
It's real out here, dog.
Loneliness is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, see, that's deep.
Forget loneliness. Let's say you just got an old wife and you want to see something young and fresh.
So I guess
No
kinda
stretch
like,
marks and no bullet wounds.
this is
Not the bullet
newer-
wounds, B.
Like the newer version of. Have you ever heard of Backpage?
Nah.
They shut down back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backpage was kind of like Craigslist before that, kind of, wasn't it?
It was Craigslist before?
No, it was
Oh.
Backpage was like Craigslist.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
'cause-
You can kind of post what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Backpage was like that.
Tinder.
'cause-
You talking about Tinder?
Nah, Tinder is a little different
Dating
though.
site.
But Tinder is
But
probably
it
like,
happens on the dating sites also.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what one of my
That's
homeboys
what
was
it is.
telling me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just want hookups. They don't want.
Yeah,
those
Tinder
dating
it is a
apps.
hookup site
Yeah.
though, isn't
It's supposed to be a
It's
dating
supposed to
site.
be dating, but
Now, I look at this young lady that's on YouTube called Shan Boudreaux or Boudram. She got a website called Shan Body's Pretty Redbone, about
Oh.
32, 33.
It's a cool
And
name.
She does a sex positive vlog.
Sex positive. Talking about overcoming the politics.
Well, not so much overcoming politics, but like positive sexual experiences and
Right.
healthy sexual experiences, and encouraging women to find their inner
Sexual beasts.
yeah.
Okay.
Be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Some people are very, sexual beings, and they're
Mhm.
comfortable talking about it and
Mhm.
being nude,
Mm.
things of that nature.
So she was advertising a site. I think it was called Pure. That's what it was called. And basically, the whole point of that site is, I'm in town or we're in the same town, and during this time frame, I want to hook up. Do you want to hook up with me? If we do, you pay a membership. Go get it.
What's her vetting process with all of?
It was the website. It was like a website that you have to join.
Right, but I'm talking about diseases wise, as far as HIV, major concerns there.
Like turning some paperwork on your
Yeah,
application. Huh?
absolutely.
I respect that.
You know, things like that.
I
need
could respect
to see
that.
some notarized
Yeah.
paperwork.
Man, yeah,
Those
got you.
folks ain't got no paperwork.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They just
Make
trying
sure-
to smooth it, man.
Make sure ain't nobody got no
They-
HPV and all that.
Yeah. I mean, how many people gonna be like, "Oh, I got my paper straight"?
At this day and age, we need to.
No, I'm saying on
Yeah.
a website like that though.
No,
How
I
many
get
people
it.
gonna
And
do
even
that?
if it's passed, and like you said, if they like traveling, like saying like, so they can just do it in any city. Oh, I'm in Atlanta for 24 hours. Who want to
Do
hook
they
up
have
with me?
a
Yeah, I mean,
business
come on, man.
contact
Woo.
that's like a question and answer? I'm just curious to know. I know people have concerns.
Quickly find.
Yes.
So in reference to what was the other app that you talked about?
What?
Backdoor Tinder.
Backdoor Tinder. Okay, that's
Okay, so dating sites. Okay, I'm on a couple of dating sites. My friends recommended Bumble. Has anybody ever heard of that?
I have my best friends on Bumble right now.
Okay.
I think the woman's in control, right?
Yes, so you
they have to
initiate. Yeah.
initiate. And
Mhm.
I think she likes that so much more. I've done a couple of dating sites myself, and as a woman, we get bombarded. You
Yes.
get flooded, and then you're like, I'm completely turned off. I don't want to do this. So if there is a nice guy in there, he gets lost, needle in the haystack. So she says she likes
So
Bumble.
it's an
I
app
like
that gives you full of attention.
well. I mean,
And you don't
Well,
want
it's to me, okay, so Bumble is kind of like Tinder. You have to actually connect together. So if you swipe left, you don't like the person. If you swipe right, both of y'all swipe right on each other, then Bumble will let you know, okay, this is a match. Then you have 24 hours as a female to initiate a conversation with them. And then you can go from there. But something I've noticed on Bumble, just looking through the profiles, you get people, I have a wife, my wife knows I'm on here, I'm just here for hookups. Like, it's in their profile.
Oh wow.
So, like,
That
just like with
polyamorous
Tinder,
telling you
it might be
about.
intended for dating, but if everybody don't have, like, oh, I'm just here for a hookup, holler at me, whatever you want to do, let's do. Swipe right. They don't want a relationship, they just want that
well, that's
sexual encounter.
this one right here is not a dating app. This one is a sex app.
Okay,
So the difference between Tinder is supposed to be
dating.
dating.
it's supposed to be.
This one right here is just I want
No
Oh,
gray
go.
area.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I
to
feel
no questions asked. Just you like me, I like you. Let's get it.
Do. Yeah.
All right.
Marcus, what were you saying? You were saying something like it's an app that gives you attention, and you don't want it.
I was saying, like, it's an app out here that gives you all the attention from multiple sources, and it's uninviting all of a sudden.
It can be.
Okay.
Some guys are creepy.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really creepy.
Most guys are creepy. Get it right.
Okay, but hold
I
on.
said
Now
that. I
help me.
said-
In your perspective, define a creep.
So a guy who is like evasive in conversation, but all they really want to talk about is how you look and things that kind of have a sexual undertone to it, and it's not, you can't just build a conversation. What do you do? Where are you from? What do you like to do? They're really more geared towards, what do you look like? Oh,
Send
and
me a
they'll come right
picture.
off the bat talking about sexual things. Oh, I'm touching myself. What are you doing? And you're out of nowhere, and it's just a hi, how are you type conversation. That's creepy.
But the normal conversation is kind of boring too, ain't it? At least the person straight to the point, entertaining. At least you know what's popping.
But if I'm a boring person that likes boring conversation, then I want to attract someone who likes the boring conversation too.
I can respect
If
that
I'm
perspective.
creepy and I'm straight
Yeah.
freaknik, then I want somebody who's gonna come straight off the bat talking about they're touching themselves.
No doubt. No doubt. I got you.
You're looking for that match.
What about you, Q? What's your definition of a creep?
There, I think just straight up off the top, not trying to really get to know. Oh, send me a picture. I just met you like 5 seconds ago. Like, no, I don't need. My thing is, and plus, it's a picture on the profile, so why do you want another picture? And I understand some guys will say, well, I want to see what you look like now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see how your clothing is.
If you keep persisting, send me another picture. Send me like what are you doing with my pictures?
Good point.
Okay, the last online date that I had was a few years ago at this point, and single mother with 4 kids, so that was a no. I deal with one. You got one, we good, and I'm not too picky on the looks. I'm a leg person, as I've said in the past. You can have a nice chest, that's nice too, but legs are the thing that if I see them, I say, oh, those are nice, yeah. I might get my approach on. But the other young lady that I tried the online date with, she sent me a nice, thick, big girl picture. I was like, okay, she a big girl, I can deal with that. Like I said in the past, 85 to 300. If you somewhere in there and you got the right shape I'm good. But she looked like Grimace. Like shaped like Grimace in a triangle.
No doubt.
Oh, I was like, what?
Like a Christmas tree.
It's all the same in the dark though.
Like a Christmas
When
tree.
you saw her in person.
She looked like Grimace.
Okay, so she didn't look like her picture.
Mm-mm.
But it was a picture of her.
So you didn't get catfish.
I got catfish.
Oh,
You did
okay.
get it. Okay.
Yeah, she looked like Grimace. She was a sweetheart, but I'm a leg person. It was like triangle to hips, into Christmas tree legs, down, straight down.
Yeah, she wear them tight clothes and then formed a fat. That's not true. My bad. Yeah, that's true.
I'm a big guy. I'm not judgmental, but you gotta curves.
So in your online dating experience, what's your draw? Do you like women who come off pretty strong right off the bat, or do you really kind of enjoy getting to know?
I have not had a positive online dating experience. Okay. I only got like 2 or 3 replies that were worth replying back to, and as you said, you don't have to have a picture if you have a good conversation, but
What?
it just wasn't there.
It wasn't there. Yeah, I feel like I've had mixed. Like, I did match for like 6 months. That was a waste of money for me, but I can't say that I didn't meet guys who at least initiated, I think, decent conversation. So.
Me personally, I don't trust them. I be feeling like that sets you up as a walking lick. I just feel like you're gonna get robbed in that shit. That's me personally. That's why. That's my paranoia in that. Cause women be, depending on who you dealing with, that just sets you up for failure. That's how I look at it. Like that's me though.
It's a gamble. You have to just hope that everybody has the best intentions, but you don't be a fool. Like if somebody asks you, "Oh, I could pay my bill this month. Can you send me some money?" Like, no, I just met you. Like, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't help you out. You need to talk to your mama, daddy, sister, friend.
Well, that has happened to you though.
No, I'm just saying I've heard stories like that.
Okay.
I block people, so.
I'm a blocker too. I find it interesting how people tend to catch feelings over apps, over phone conversation, or just maybe just meeting once, and it's like I can't stop thinking about you. That's creepy to me too.
I got you. Too strong.
Like, it's
too
way too
strong. Yeah.
And I think you're the one for me, and things like that. But it happens. I mean, Catfish is one of the shows that I have enjoyed watching, and just to see people just go down the rabbit hole, and it's just like, how did you get here, where you fell in love with a complete stranger?
You got pretty girl problems.
And then I think people fall in love with potential. Like, they see the Cinderella story and think like, okay, this can be the person. Oh, they're saying the right things, but somebody who is basically a con artist, when it comes to Catfish, they know the things to say. They know how to, they know your triggers. They can be like, okay, this person might be a little insecure, or this person might be like something, like, okay, let me tap into that. So that's how they end up building their relationship, and then they end up, catfishing them. And it's sad because they don't have the best intentions, but people just are quick to fall in love with the potential. Like, oh, they just create
all this to find a lifetime
Everybody
partner.
wants somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, same thing.
All right, so here goes my question. In the dating world, women have the first right of refusal. Men make wives, in my opinion.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie.
Just
Yeah,
say
you
it
gotta
one
hit
more
that. You gotta hit that
time.
again for me too.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It felt like it was so deep in the air, like. But I'm sorry, dog.
Women have the first right of refusal. So if a dude comes up to you, y'all can refuse him, push him away, or you can accept him. So if he's not your choice or you're tight, bye. But men make wives. We choose.
I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. I kind of agree a little bit. I tend, speaking for myself, with my significant other here, I tend to be the choosy one. I chose him.
Yeah, but he chose you back.
Yes,
And that's a good match.
ultimately.
Yeah.
But I knew that he would choose me, but I chose him, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Hey, I ain't gonna front. I agree with you. Hey, even my own mama told me. My own mama told me, like, she got to choose you. Like, my own mama said that to me, and that was real.
And we have a great relationship.
Yeah.
We are like best friends. You know, we can talk just like this in this setting, how we talk, and this will probably be a conversation later. But we can talk very freely. But he knows that. I tell him all the time I chose you, and he knows that, right?
On the record, the significant other is here as well. That's being silent.
Both parties.
This nigga done slumped up in his chair like, oh.
No, you didn't choose me.
I didn't.
No, you didn't
Okay,
choose
so tell
me.
me
I
how
mean, yeah, you may initially thought you may have thought you chose me, but I picked you though. Because if I didn't pick you, you wouldn't be here. So yeah, you came to me initially and said what you had to say.
So then who chose who? If I was the
Yeah, you may initially came up to me and say something, but
Notice I said the first right of refusal.
yeah,
You chose her back, is what I'm saying. But if she had just blown you off or not accepted
well,
your
see,
energy.
I didn't come to her though, so she came to me. So it was like, I guess she did.
Nigga, yes or no? God damn.
I don't have a yes or no on them.
Is what I said wrong?
But in a conversation we've had recently is, and we joke, you know, we definitely love each other and want to have a life together. But we joke about me. I'm not gonna ask you. You know, he'd be like, "Oh, you too good to get down on one knee," and it's a joke. But ultimately,
No, I was for real about that.
well,
Stop.
Another session.
I'm not getting on any knees unless I'm lunging. Okay, that's it. However, ultimately, when it comes to that marriage and taking the next step, it is his choice to make me his wife. That is his choice. It will not be I can want to be, but I'm not the one who's going to set that tone or, you know, make that move. And that's a new trend now.
Yeah, women are
asking
proposing.
men,
Yeah,
they are proposing.
women are proposing.
And I
now.
can't get with it.
Hey, women are buying their own rings.
Cause I know. No,
We
no.
can have a whole
yeah.
conversation about
Hey,
women.
women-
I'm gonna buy a right hand ring.
Women
I'm
buy
not
their
going to
own
buy
ring.
a left hand
Yeah,
ring.
women buy
I
their
have
own ring.
plenty.
Right. I'm not going
But I do agree with you, like on the perspective that men need to choose the woman that they want to protect and provide for, versus a woman who chooses like, hey, I'm gonna choose you to provide for me or work for me, or not in that nature. Unless she's up here saying, hey, I'm gonna take care of you, and that ain't the way
That's
how
a
it work,
sugar
in
mama.
my opinion.
Exactly.
You
I feel
know,
like
no.
it's a possessiveness
Yeah.
that needs to be there.
100.
I have gone to Torrid on many occasions with my sister. Torrid is the big girl store. You see some pretty big girls going into Torrid, so I'm not knocking Torrid or knocking the women that shop at Torrid. But I saw a guy who...
What was toward me? I ain't gonna
Yeah,
front.
I was-
Thank
I was
you.
gonna actually say-
It's a
I
clothing
appreciate
store,
it.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
clothing store for plus size women.
Only a plus size woman clothes store I know is Lane Bryant.
Well, this is
And Kato's.
this is
Just for the mothers of the church.
I didn't say that.
okay. So if you a size 14 in regular sizes, you might be a small at Torrid. If you know women's sizes, so 14 is, you know, medium, big, you know, not fat, but you're fuller figured.
No doubt.
So, so I hung out there and I saw a couple in the store, and the guy, he looked like a GI Joe, you know, 6-pack, muscles through the clothes, fit, and he had him look pretty, but thick, red bone chick on his arm, and he was red himself, so they color matched. If we're gonna talk about that colorism thing a little bit later, but they were color matched. But if you were to look at him and look at her, you wouldn't necessarily put him with her. But that being said, I got homeboys that love him thick, and she was a pretty girl. You know, like I said, 85, 300. It just had the right shape. You good. She was choosable. You know, she was pretty.
No, it's nothing like a woman of that caliber with confidence.
Oh no, she had a shape.
Yeah.
You know, plus, but curvy and hair down the back and pretty.
So you would think since he was athletically fit, six pack, that he would want to be with somebody who's fit like him instead of a curvy, thick girl. I guess
But you see like the skinny 6-pack girl with all the body, and she be with a dude. You be like, she with him? Yeah, you know.
He's fluffy or something.
Yeah, you know.
I get what you're saying.
I don't mind being fluffy. I like.
That's why I feel like it has more than a physical attraction.
Yeah.
Physical attraction
In my mind, it's like, who gonna take care of you? Like, who got your back at the end of the day?
Well, I could tell what she was wearing. She probably was a nurse or a doctor, one or the other. So she had some paper.
Okay.
I think initially people are looking for something that they are physically attracted to. Then, but like you said, it should be the other way around. Then they might build that friendship, relationship. But initially people are like, okay, I like what I like.
Yeah.
That's how you get like,
that's
some women,
how you
I want tall, dark, handsome. Okay, what does he do?
At the end of the
what
day,
is his mindset?
I done got to this position even with women these days. Like, hold up, what does she do? How does she handle situations? What's her attitude? Like, you know, I done got to that position.
Yeah.
You reprioritize the things that as a younger man, you were just looks, instant, was satisfying to the eyes. Been there. End up with a jerk. So then you reprioritize and you need more. You need the sustenance. You're getting older. You want that longevity. And
I mean,
now I gotta hit you with the define a jerk though. You know I gotta hit you with this, cause women are jerks too. I'm gonna get my line, but I'm curious on your perspective what a jerks for men.
Jerks can be, I mean, just anybody who doesn't treat you right. I'm big on being treated like a woman and being handled like a woman, like you care about me and that I feel protected and that you handle the business.
Yeah.
You know, of things, the side of things for me.
Look out for your best interest.
Yeah, for best interest. And somebody I can build with, you know, someone who's shallow, self-centered, doesn't compliment you.
Did you say shallow or unshallow?
Whoopsie. Move it back so she can get a little bit better into that. That's all I'm trying to do. Sorry about the microphone drop, people.
Small technical difficulty. Nothing major.
But, you know, that's my definition. Or a man, you can see. Yeah, I've seen men who are in a relationship with a woman and dog other women and treat other women, you know, terribly. I don't like that, you know. If I'm with my man and a woman drops something and something spills, he's still a gentleman.
Yeah.
He's still going to assist, you know, in any instance. And I think, you know, that gentleman quality is fading, but there's still quite a few still out there, but it's fading.
It's not encouraged. It's not encouraged.
I mean, being a gentleman is, like, in my opinion, is like something that is either it's witnessed and practiced. But in this days and age, because and this again is my opinion, women are now practiced of being so independent of doing for themselves. Knowing what a gentleman or just that practice look like is very unfamiliar these days, in my opinion. So you got young brothers doing this old player styles, and they be looking like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this, dog?" That's my opinion.
I see women choosing is just to be just as vain as the guys are.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is,
shallow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In that shallowness, they got a shorter window than the guys do. Guys, we go clean to 50, we good. You know, as long as we fit a 50-year-old woman, I don't care how pretty you are, you're not gonna get as much play as 18-year-old.
Yeah, it's real.
And as women, we always like the older men.
Right.
So that's what you guys have over us is that longevity. Like you said, 50, and you can still pull the 30-something. You know, because literally, once we hit 30, the panic button. It's like uncover it, panic, because it's time. we're not married or we don't have children. You start really thinking about that, and then you think if you're single, the time it would take to get to the end result. If I'm single now, I want to date someone. Yeah, I need to find someone. Then I need to date them for a while. Then I'm gonna get engaged. Then I, have it. So you talking about another 4, 5, 6 years, and I don't even have any prospects.
Now, again, my opinion. In this day and age, because women have such strong independence, they make their own money, they have their own game, they have ownership now. They're in a more position of choosing their mate of how they want to provide for them and so forth, versus the man trying to sell you a dream of what they can do for you, the third. That's, again, my opinion, but that's how the game is different now. Now, before I get into that, I want to be more personal. But let me just say
something real quick.
Go ahead.
The numbers aren't in our favor.
Okay.
We outnumber you. So it's not in our interest. When you all have the pick of the litter.
Mm-mm. No. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. The numbers are not in our favor. I don't want you to think the successful, driven, owns her own home type women can just pick anybody. It's hard.
But I'm not saying no. I'm not saying you in a position just to pick anybody. No, but I feel it's like you have more of a foundation to select who you choose to be in your lifestyle that you've made for yourself. But I respect that.
The numbers are in our favor. Like, once you get to a level, that caliber of men that you're looking for, you have 10 women to 1 man.
I would say it's worse than that. I'd say 30 to 1. But y'all could always. I mean, if there are not 30 men to match your 30 women, is it settling or is it being realistic in your options?
It's a little bit of both, depending on who you are.
I see where you're going with that.
And depending on your preferences. Like you had said earlier, you wouldn't do multiple kids. Okay, I'm 34 single. At this age, if I find a 35-year-old man who doesn't have kids, that's like, oh my God, I hit the lottery. I literally
you sure? Ain't nothing wrong with him by this time.
Right. Okay. Let's put some other things in. He's not on the down low. He's not gay. Things like that. He's not at his mama house. He has some kind of career, or he's an entrepreneur or something in that sense. That is a diamond in the rough. So, realistically, I know I'm 34. Okay, I'll take somebody with kids. Especially because I have friends who have gotten married, had kids, and are divorced. Mm-hmm. So I can't be like, I'm not going to date anyone who's divorced. I can't be like, I'm not going to date anyone who doesn't have kids, because it's like, the numbers are already low for me, so...
So this don't put you in a position to be like, look, I might get this little 25-year-old who ain't got nothing really going on real quick. I'm about to mold you real quick. Come here, little nigga. Come here, go let's pop.
That's not my personality. At this point, I can't raise a man. I just, I hate to say it like this, but I go lay on my back and have one. If I want to raise a child, if I want a child, if I want a dependent, someone that I'm gonna have to feed like a baby, then I'll just go have one. So. That's my 2 cents. But I feel like you do have to be realistic in what you're looking for and where you're at.
All right, so on that tip, alcohol. So please forgive me if I'm saying the wrong words, but alcohol. On that tip, what you said 30? He has to be 35. You're not gonna date somebody that's 40.
Well, I was saying you have an age range.
For me, it's 24 to 38.
But see, as a man, you'll go backwards. Most women, we won't.
Older.
Yeah, maybe a year or 2 at the most. A year is pushing it, but older. That's what I'm saying. It's slim pickings, and as we get older, men are married. It's not just us that are out here snatching and grabbing for the next husband. Everybody wants to. As women, that's our ultimate goal. We want to be married. We want to have family.
Well, you're competing against the Latinas, the white girls.
Exactly. Now everyone
Asians.
wants a foreign chick.
Right.
Exotic.
And black women.
This could be a good chance to caveat to your
percentage, but it's really high. Black women date black men. Like it's a very high percentage compared to black men dating other races.
Comparatively speaking, black men are married more than black women. Number one, which I found crazy since they're more y'all than us. Mm-hmm. But on the marriage tip, black men marry black women like 95 or 85%. So it's not like they're 50-50 or 60-40 going outside the race. It's primarily black women that black men marry. But my opinion, which is going to be real unpopular in this point, a lot of black women have unrealistic expectations of the men that are in their pool. You know, we talked about how much money the black men have and how poor black people are in general. Like if on average, a family of four, the average family of four in America makes less than black family makes less than $50,000 a year. So if you're a black woman who is making more than $40,000 a year on your own, you're an anomaly in the black community. So does that mean I shouldn't date a guy that's making less than me, or I shouldn't marry a guy that's making less than me? Well, what are your expectations of that guy? Are you going to pool your resources and get a house? Okay, God forbid you get ready to have a family and you got to take a couple months off. Well, what are your realistic expectations of what he's going to be able to provide for you? Do you have a realistic goal of where you're going to live and how you're going to live? You know, I know I've been a sponsor of hair and nails and weave to lady friends. You know, and I'm like, you buying this book? But, you know, I've sponsored it because I've had the opportunity to be employed. Now I'm in a place where I really can't do that. You know, I got my own house, and you saying they need to have their own house, be at their mama's place. I stayed with my dad until, 2014, 2013. You know, good and grown old. But me and him, we would go trips. Like, all right, you want to go somewhere? I pay for the trip, pay for the hotel, pay for the gas. Good. He already had the place, and, it was cool. And now I'm in my own spot, and I'm struggling. I can't afford to date, I bought some microphone cables and some mics, and I'm like, damn, I need to pass out the collection plate.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How, on the dating scene, and just out of curiosity, how did living at home with your father impact your dating life? Did you find that women were kind of turned off by it?
I didn't date. I just had money in my pocket and enjoy life.
Okay.
Go to the strip club, see somebody wiggle for a minute, tip them, and go on about my business. It's a whole lot cheaper.
It's gotten to me because I'm so surrounded by women of successful patterns, and it'd be like if you meet a woman at 28, 30, talking about, depending on the circumstance, talking about, hey, you stay with your mom the other day. Hold up, what you doing? Like, what you mean you stay with your parents still? Like, where your independence at? And it got to that age, in my eyes, you'd be like, hold up, girl, what you not doing right? I know once upon a time that was alright because that man be like, well, okay, cool, babe, I'm gonna bring you in. Now it's like, hold up.
So as a man, you're saying that your expectation for a woman 30 years old is to have her own too.
It's like, hold up, yeah, because
okay.
how the age, like, hold up, how you ain't out here making it yet?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
Own apartment or something like that.
yeah, like how you up here ain't got no place I can come visit you at? What's popping over
But
here?
see,
Where your car at?
Okay.
To me, that's a cultural fallacy because if you look at the other cultures, like I was talking to one of my Indian coworkers, and they don't leave until they're married. Period. Mm-hmm. And then furthermore, they might even get their significant other chosen
That's what I'm
by
saying.
the family.
Arranged marriages. That's completely different. I don't need that.
But I'm not gonna lie. I talked to you know what?
But their marriages are more successful.
They
Absolutely.
are. I talked to an Indian associate of mine.
With religious undertones.
Yeah.
That you
Culture.
can't break it.
Yeah,
cultural.
You
Yeah.
can't break it. And I'm sorry, from a personal experience, I was talking to an Indian wife not too long ago about life and relationships, and I was just telling her some of the examples and stories of relationships, and she was really like, what is that? Like, she was kind of looking traumatized, like, what is this, what is that? Because she was arranged, so all the drama and the other life traumas that you get from dating, all those energies you get from all those personalities, she was very unfamiliar with. Like, hold up, people do this, what is that, what is
Because
what?
they usually grow up with the person they're going to marry anyway.
So you get where I'm going with this.
Yes.
So I just stopped talking. I'm like, I ain't gonna put this in your head. It's cool. Go ahead and do you. But I was like, I'm thinking this was normal. Like this ain't normal to you. Like this ain't happening to you.
It depends on your culture.
It depends on
your
the culture.
upbringing.
Yeah.
Because I had an Indian coworker, and we were talking. It was coming back from New Orleans, so we had plenty of time to talk. And he had an arranged marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, like, oh, how's dating for you? And I kind of explained it to him. I guess I told him, I said, well, my upbringing and my family. I said, I'm not just going to bring anyone around my family. Like, so I told him, I said, it's not arranged, but you just have, I guess, a level of respect. And also, even for yourself, but not to say, like, my family chooses my mate, but I know that I'm just not finna be like, okay, I'm finna, not to joke, but get this dope boy off the corner. Yeah, he fine. he got money, and I'm finna bring him around my family. Like, this is, who I'm with now. Like, you have to just, I guess, like you're saying, it just goes back to your upbringing and what you're around as you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You see those healthy relationships, even though we don't have arranged marriages, but you still aspire to what you see.
Okay, now this is just my observation in the black community and being a black male. Black women choose men strictly for looks. I hear crickets.
We listen.
I disagree.
I'm not going to say strictly.
Yeah.
But initial attraction for anybody is usually the first thing. It's something in the way they walk, they talk, they carry themselves, they interact, even how other people respond to them. Those things attract you to someone. But it's not just always looks. I, for one, don't like pretty boys. I'm the fine one in the relationship. That's it. So, I mean, you look good. But
You ain't pretty, nigga.
Hershey bar
You
for
ain't
me.
the pretty nigga.
Hershey bar for me, but for me, I want to be the one that is really to feel like I'm the looker. I don't want a guy hogging up the mirror. I mean, I got natural hair. It takes me a while in the morning. Okay,
All right,
I need that time.
I gotta play the colorism card.
Is it that time? Is it that time? I think we got that time.
I have to agree too, because as a woman, I don't want all these women after my man. Like, okay, she can be like, oh, he look good, but because I feel like that's just adding pressure to a man. Like, men feel like they can't say no to a lot of women. They're like, oh, I have to check you out. Like, get back, that's fine. Like, you don't want to become possessive, but I'm with her. I don't want the pretty boy. You don't need to be in the mirror as long as me.
I mean, y'all got it twisted with the pretty boy shit. Like, y'all can have that nigga, but he gotta be able to do something. Like, he better be able to work on some shit, move, teach you about some things, help make a car. Like, that's my opinion. But you better try to be
more than
special.
just
I'm gonna
a
mention
pretty face.
term.
You be mad as hell.
Yeah, you don't want just a pretty face.
I like a
what can she
man's
do?
face.
Thank you. I was getting that. I was just about to get there.
Yeah, so
What?
it is an initial physical attraction, but what do you bring to the
I'm
table?
like, baby,
I
what do you
want to
do?
bring one term into the conversation that you may never ever heard: hobosexuals.
Hobo?
Hobosexuals.
Why you
I've
be doing
never
this
heard
to us?
that
Why
one.
you
What is
bringing
that?
this silence over the mics, man? What the fuck?
A hobosexual is a guy who is basically couch surfing from woman to woman between the seasons. So he might be a guy that is, that Delta build with the ultra masculine look. Take the shirt off and be like, ooh, you just melt when you see him. Women just love him, but he ain't about shit. So he can lay the pipe, and you'll keep him for a season. But you the boss chick, and after that season, you like, oh, you gotta go, Negro.
So he like, Wait
living-
to Exhale. What was his name?
Oh,
Leon. The character that
Leon,
Leon played.
I must admit I hadn't seen Waiting to Exhale since Waiting to Exhale was new.
It just came
So-
up
The only thing I remember that movie is when old girl burnt the car down. That's the only thing I remember that movie.
Yeah.
Bernadette.
I remember was it Cedric Entertainer and old girl?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
was.
So I guess we saw the parts that most fit us.
Yeah.
That
But
was
you
the
know-
Entertainer. That was the other guy. But what was I talking about? He was with Robin.
Hey, my man from
They
Soul
worked
Food.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. He always be getting messed over in the movies though. Whoever he was, he
No,
always
that
get
was
messed over.
I thought that was Cedric
No, it
Entertainer.
wasn't Cedric Entertainer. But I know he's talking about. I just watched it. Like it came on Bounce. Like,
Okay.
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So.
You watched all the commercials too on Bounce? Dang.
I watched the whole way back there. They were playing.
That movie like 2.5 hours long.
And it was late at night, and I had to go to work, and I sure watched it.
I've just been told I'm not invited to any more sessions.
Really?
Aw, I
I
like
stole
you.
his mojo.
You have been quiet. Now I think about it.
We gonna get to your topic.
No, but I normally talk about every topic, but today I just like.
Well, know what you
I
need to
can't
do?
say that.
Why can't you
Y'all-
say something?
This is what you need to do. You need to put her right there.
It ain't even
And
that.
just switch up the.
I think it's just you in the room.
Are you shy?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
You locked up. You clammed up. What's wrong?
I don't know.
I'm wide open.
It'll be all right,
I'm like,
Yeah, speak freely.
How about we just pour a couple glugs of this in the glass and loosen you up?
take a couple shots.
They ain't gonna help.
They ain't gonna help though. They ain't gonna help. They ain't gonna help.
Okay.
But we can keep on going though
Yeah.
with the conversation.
Interesting.
That is
The group
that's a whole
dynamics.
conversation in itself, right?
Man, it's gonna be quiet in the car.
Oh no, he gonna have.
He gonna say he
You gonna have it all in the car.
Like, so what did you mean? When you
Ah.
said, like, what? All right, when you said this.
I guess when you have other folks around you, you see different facets of people that you're with. and you're not necessarily seeing a different person, but you're just seeing more dimensions of that person, and you may not be, tuned into it.
Oh no, I know who I'm dealing with.
So why be shy?
Oh, I'm not shy. It's just
Hey, man, before you
I
turn
don't
into
know.
their
Take
show,
them
do we
back
need to take a
a
pause before they turn
All
into
right,
the A&M show? The A&M show?
All right, y'all want to take a quick break?
Yeah, sure. We can.
All right. All right, everybody, we are back. We're going to continue this conversation. We had a little bit of interesting off-mic conversation, but go ahead. Wrap it, bring it in.
We're bringing this on the mic for real?
If you want to, I mean, you don't
Yes.
have to.
Do I get the permission? Hold on. Let me ask the man. Is that cool with you to bring this up right now?
No, let's not go there.
All right, we'll leave that alone.
We'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone.
Okay.
All right, we've been having an interesting conversation. I think this has been a fun session thus far. We were supposed to talk about colorism today, and I was going to call the colorism card a little earlier. And what I was going to say is light-skinned women normally choose dark-skinned men.
Fact check. You're right.
But why though?
It goes back to what she said in the other segment. They want masculine men, and for whatever reason, most time light skinned men have the pretty boy card attached to them. And that being said, light skinned women don't want a man that's as pretty as they are. To that point, I've had more light skinned girlfriends than I've had dark skinned girlfriends. I've been chosen by light skinned women on more occasions than women that are my complexion or darker, even though I love dark skinned women.
I love dark skinned people.
That's deep. That is deep.
I like all types of people, but I love that about black people is how we can range in tones. And there's something very strong in that rich, dark color for me. It is. I love it.
Personally, I've been chosen by more fair complected women than like the last 2 or 3 girls, aside from the one I'm currently having some kind of friendship with. We're not really in that kind of mode of life anymore, but I've been chosen by more fair complected girls. Personally.
Me.
Chosen, not approached, but they come to me.
Really and truly, I don't like light skinned women. And but it seems like every girl that I end up with normally be light skinned, but I never really like light skinned women. I don't know why. It's just
That's what I said about the first right of refusal.
Yeah.
If a woman chooses you and you choose her back, it's a whole lot easier.
But I don't know. Like you said, I'm dark skinned, and I like dark skinned women, but dark skinned women didn't like me.
Right, I know
So,
that. I know the experience.
That whole experience. I mean, even coming up as a child, light skin was in when I was younger until the age of about 16 years old.
Well, I'm gonna call it the Michael Jordan, Wesley Snipes phase of existence.
Yeah.
When they came in, the Passions of 247 or 227, whatever.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan, black men became popular, and we never want to let go of that card again. He was like, nope.
Well, yeah.
He has some good ass movies too.
Who?
Wesley
Snipes. Yeah, Wesley Snipes. I mean, I don't know if Wesley Snipes put black men on the map per se, but
I was joking.
I mean, he might have though. But the light skinned guys got more attention than the dark skinned. Younger though.
We think about the era that we grew out of. We grew out of what was it, Shalimar and The Barge and Lionel Richie and Michael
Prince.
Jackson.
Yeah.
And then by the time you was 16, it was what, 50 Cent?
Well,
No, 50 Cent was a little bit after you 16.
yeah, it was after
College,
Well,
yeah.
Michael Jackson wasn't light skinned.
We had the, like R&B.
He ended up
groups,
as
though.
light skinned.
Oh yeah,
They
Surely
would
Black
pretty
Street.
much would be,
Straight.
Jodeci.
Jodeci.
They had a mixture.
Yeah.
Though.
I'm talking about
New
that.
Edition.
I'm talking about when it went to the thug culture, and it was just dark skinned man was thug culture, unfortunately.
No, like Biggie,
Yeah, Biggie.
Tupac, brown skin.
Tupac was actually
Yeah, but
kind
see,
of dark.
Tupac was brown skinned though. I don't consider Tupac. I
Yeah.
mean,
Now
And-
he wasn't passing the brown hair bag.
If you look at artists such as Prince or DeBarge, who, if you look at the earlier '80s,
yeah.
They was MTV material.
they were
Yeah, it seemed like, people put some kind of, I don't know, hold on, light skinned people, like they are more presentable
Yeah.
than dark skinned people. You know what I'm saying?
It was that one guy though, Return of the Mac. That nigga, he crossed over for that one song.
Yeah. Well, that's I think you probably need to
Shaggy.
reach back further than
Shaggy
with
did
the
cross
whole
over.
colorism thing because they
Yeah.
do like the test with the kids and it's got like the basically the white baby to the dark baby.
yeah.
Which one is bad? Which one is good? This and that, and even as I forgot the age, but it was maybe like
2 or 3, I think. Like,
elementary.
Like,
It was young, yeah.
Preschool,
They would,
elementary school.
yeah, they associated dark skin with being bad, and light skin or white being good. So
Even on TV, I mean,
Yeah.
what you saw were always those medium tone to light skinned people, and remember when we never saw mixed couples. You know, now every commercial, everybody's trying to. The Tide commercial got a black husband and an Asian wife. You know, you're starting to see all of that. But it was always just like he said. Like if you were lighter, you were more presentable. And
I'm gonna throw something out with the mixed couples. If you keep up with demographics and a little bit on the genetic side, basically white people are having a hard time breeding right now.
No,
And it's
wow.
they're having a hard time breeding. Look at the birth rates in Europe. Look at the birth rates in the United States. Look at the birth rates in Asia. The only places that are making babies on a large scale numbers are Africa and certain parts of Asia.
Okay.
And
Mexicans,
I know the Spanish
Mexicans
people are
Span- yeah.
booming because they like
Mexicans,
bunnies.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if you look at like birth rates, so a lot of the intermixing that they're encouraging right now, I think, is more or less for getting better genetic stock.
I can see where you're going with this.
I was out. I went to Target before we came here
Yes, Tarjay.
to get the fancy snacks and whatnot. And
Again, thank you, dog, for these nice, simply balanced.
no,
fruit
don't
snacks.
give them free coupons. But I was in Target and I saw a young brother. He had to be about 6'4" or 6'5", long, slender, black male, and I saw him with his white girlfriend because he was bonking her in the head with a chair, and then the white girlfriend was with mama, and they were all rolling together through Target, and they were, he had to been, I'd be generous to say he was 17. In my life, growing up, I never thought I would see white mama, white girl, black boyfriend. But he's 6 feet plus. So that's genetics. That's okay. You chose him. I see why you chose him. You can make some healthy babies.
Mm-hmm.
LeVar Ball comes to mind.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can't say
going with
that
this.
I would say I didn't think I would ever see a white kid. I mean, a black male with a white girl. But here,
No. Catch
and
what
the
I
mother,
said. And the mother. Yeah.
I mean, it's common now to a certain extent. But
If I talk to my friends that are older than me, that have been here their whole lives, they talk about, it's like almost like a damn lust for white women. I'm like, I don't even find them that attractive, for that. Not to knock those that like them.
Yeah, I don't like that plastic sweat skin feel. I ain't really with it.
but a lot of people do though.
It
And I think that reason why black men like it because they didn't supposed to be.
That's
That
right.
was
So
a-
it was like
forbidden
forbidden fruit.
right.
Oh,
So
it's
that's
It's
what-
called
yeah.
sulfur skin, by the way, sir.
So I just think that the white women, like the black men, and then the white women, they were told not to fool with the black men. I think that was attraction. That's the attraction they have to the black men because their fathers.
A
and
17-year-old doesn't have
and-
that history.
True, but
20, 30, 40-year-old, yeah, but a 17-year-old don't have that history.
But a 17-year-old has a 50-year-old father or 60-year-old father.
Yeah, but that don't
and
stop
he
you
don't
from.
want to see his daughter with a black man.
I don't know. I find.
I believe it could be the they want the genetics, but I honestly, we talk about black girl magic. I believe in just black magic. We are like just amazing people. We are an amazing people. We exude strength and confidence. We have persevered through so much, and I feel like that is just what they are attracted to. They like that. I feel like it's so much more than that, but that just goes down into some other things. But I just feel like it's more than just the genetics. They want to be us. A lot of times, they mimic all of our culture
Yeah.
Hair extensions. I mean, the piercings and the way we dance and do things. They are constantly grabbing and picking out of our culture the things that they want and trying to mass market it for themselves. So.
And on top of this, African American culture. That's like
Really.
real talk.
Real talk.
Yeah, like these are the things that, and I feel like, okay, this is my opinion. African American culture is a culture that's we are made by people. Now, why do I say that? Right? Because as African Americans, we do not have our own land, we do not have our own religion, our own money, but we have something in our energy that makes us popular or something that gravitates to trend off of. We create trends as a culture. We have these ideas, we have these creative mindsets, and this confidence that just makes other cultures wish to be us but not us.
Right.
Like they want to keep their rules that they abide by, but they want our image. And and I don't see nothing wrong with that. I ain't like, we be fresh. We innovative, man.
Yeah,
We be twisted.
I mean,
But
like you said,
they don't want our problems.
They don't want our
Yeah,
problems.
but
We don't own our own stuff.
if we were in a normal society, we would be more blended into the mass of society
Be more
than
respected.
we are. But in a sense, we have been artificially suppressed, or not artificially, intentionally suppressed.
We're hybrid.
So if we're intentionally suppressed, we're not going to have the ability to move like we should move. Like, you think about internet, that's a black guy that put that together. Cell phones, that's a
don't get
black
the
guy
credit.
that put that together. Multi-gigahertz computers, that's a black guy that put that together. Back in the olden days,
Open heart surgery.
open heart surgery,
Blood
Trailer-
transfusion.
blood transfusion,
Peanut.
Traffic light.
Traffic light.
traffic lights, the gas mask.
The X.
They need us.
Right.
Could you imagine where they would be without us? Look at all the things that you say, which are, so commonplace in today. Where would they be without us? They need us, but it's like they are pimping us.
They're
Well-
colonizers. Like,
well-
at the end of the day, like, that's what they are.
It's a fear because, all right, I have all the advantage given to me because of the complexion for affection, and I got this dude over here who is just as creative as me. I do believe there's something in the IQ, but that's also depend on the test. But he's creative like me, but he's stronger than me. He's faster than me. He's able to deal with situations that I can't deal with physically better than me. If I allow him to be free, or her
prosper.
to prosper,
Yeah.
where does that leave me?
Completely.
Right.
At least you know it. But so how did we get to this point then?
It's intentional.
But how did we get to this point?
What do you mean? Explain your.
How did we get to this point for slavery and everything? How did we get to this point?
Well, to a certain extent, I
We
don't
did
believe.
to
I don't
ourselves.
believe. I agree with you 100% on that. I don't believe white people came into Africa and kidnapped us, but they did take advantage of the situations
They
that were
took
presented
advantage
from
of
them.
the situation, but we did it to ourselves.
Because we
It
are
was
our own
black people
nations
that sold off black people
That are
to
broken
these
into
white
nations. Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, again, I state that in the perspective of business, you gotta remember in those times, they was in war. Those tribes were in war with each other. So when they would capture each other and hold each other prisoners, they was selling those off to those sellers. White folks, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that would be, and then when they put them on the boat, they don't know who is who because their tribal styles are different on each other's faces. Their language is a little bit different. So we were the, what can I say?
Subsect.
Yeah, we were the prisoners that came over here. And on top of that, on facts though, what happened with America? Those were the white folks that the Europeans didn't want.
Yeah,
They brought them over here to the States.
Yeah, they
So-
were robbers,
It's a
killers.
we're a country of rejects.
Yeah, this whole country is of rejects, man. Let's get real with the history. So ideally, yeah, we were sold over here, and that's why when we talk about we gonna go back to Africa, we can't settle like who we from or who we was with because when we was with y'all, we was captured and we was mixed over here.
DNA history.
It's real talk.
Saliva, everything. Okay? And that is so true because I am mixed with so many different tribes. Because once you take all these different people from the continent and put them on a boat and bring them over here, then we cross mix and breed. So I'm so mixed up. It's not that I can go and say, "Oh, I'm from the Congo," or I'm from a lot of different places. And then I have Greek and Afghanistan background, Pakistani, and all of those are all kind of mixed in there. But when it comes to finding my African roots, I can't, because, like you said, we were all taken stripped from different areas of the continent, and then we intermixed and breeded.
And another food for thought, that's why us as African Americans are one of the most cherished and also most, I'm going to say, the gold mine of public health research.
Well, we're mutts.
Yeah, we not shit. We just mutts. We test them.
We test them because we're so rare as a people. That's what I'm getting
I'm
at.
saying though with that is, if you look at dogs and health, you get a German Shepherd, they're gonna have a crooked back. They're gonna be inbred a couple generations, and they're not as healthy as the dog that had. Okay, I got a little bit of that, got a little bit of that, got a little bit of that. That dog that got a little bit of everything tends to be a more genetically healthy, sound animal.
Okay.
So
I agree that I am a mutt. No.
Stronger genes.
Yeah, real talk. Because you have all these traits that's like,
and they can
wow.
cut on or off.
Because imagine that you may have Greek, right, in your bloodline, right, and Greeks are exposed to a disease or something that's affecting all of them, and generally, but you're the only person in this Greek culture that could walk through whatever disease that's affecting them. That's gonna create some envy, and they're gonna want to be like, hold up, we need to get you as a sample to try and figure out what can we get from you to help us in our situation. That's an example.
You heard about the last guy that was cured of AIDS, or not cured, but he became non-detectable. The one that had the bone marrow immune system transplant. All right, his genetic stock is that of those that went through the Black Death, the Black Plague, and because he was from a bloodline that had immunity to that disease, he gave his genetics or his bone marrow to somebody who had HIV and cancer. And they killed his immune system, and when they populated it from that person that had that genetic information on how to not get sick from the Black Death, it also came with instructions on how to not get sick from AIDS. And so the AIDS virus is unable to replicate in his blood cells, and he passed on that trait through his bone marrow. So,
he a $1 billion man right now.
Well, I mean, they're trying to find more people to test it on.
Okay.
But it is what it is. He killed this dude's immune system. He had AIDS in his immune system. They gave him a transplant of the bone marrow. The bone marrow had the trait for resistance to those diseases, and it's not able to replicate. So if you can't make copies of yourself and you're a virus or whatever, you can't make copies.
Dang, that's a true statement, man. Like that's deep, because like people need people for real.
I have a question, and this is kind of segueing into something that is a big topic.
I've been talking to the mic.
I'm sorry, this is a big topic for me. So, because we're talking about us as a people, and I know I had mentioned about our different shades and things like that, and we talk about how we're suppressed in white America and things like that. So, but why do we do it to ourselves? Why do we single out ourselves based on color? Why do we treat each other differently based on color? Like, even in our conversation, we've made comments about the light-skinned dude or the light-skinned woman. We have completely individual, kind of created separate categories for ourselves based on the color of our skin.
I can answer that question for you, and this is going to be just an opinion with a little bit of taste of some facts in it. But if you look at, historically speaking, you had blacks that were of mixed ancestry that were mulattoes, and they were striving to be white. In my opinion, they, in their striving to be white, tried to set themselves apart from the black masses. White America said, "Nah, Negro, you still white." And it,
Black. Still black.
no, you still black.
Yeah.
You're not white. Whereas if you look at other cultures, like let's say Brazil or whatever, they were like, okay, you white enough, let's whiten you up some more. Whereas in America, they said, oh nah, you're black. And the purpose of that was they wanted a black labor class to separate from the white labor class, and if they allowed you fair and passing to easily upgrade into white culture, white status, you were going to disrupt their norm. So in them pushing you back into the black class, you had to interact with other black folks as a light-skinned person. And in this, it was no benefit in being light-skinned except amongst our cohort, our group. You got a little bit of extras from the scraps of the table because of, you know, who some of your fathers were. You know, if you look at some of the HBCUs were started, they were started out for the children of rich white men. So, like, I think Spelman might be in that category. And, you know, basically it was side baby college.
Yeah. I got you. Didn't know that.
I don't know all of
I
it.
see that.
Yeah, I was like, what you were saying, I do see it amongst us, like, but then you had blacks that were passing for whites.
I was talking about your boy, our boy, J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
That might have been why the other one was taken down too, because I was talking mad crash about him.
Yeah, it might have been. Maybe not. I think it's just the stuff you use in the background, though.
Okay, well, we're gonna put it up without the background pictures.
You put the government in, it's a difference.
And then I guess back to colorism, I think also if you're a fair skin, society will perceive you as less threatening. So that comes into play too, and I think it started with more so black men. If they were dark skinned, they were seen as very threatening, and you know, we even see it in culture today. I know Hillary Clinton, she got like gangsters or thugs or something like. So it's just.
You talking about the super predator comment?
Yeah, super predator. That's what it was. But I feel like,
in context, I think that was a foot and mouth situation. You know, it was not something that she should have been. How she described it was kind of ugly, and all things being equal, violent crime in this country has been going down since I've been alive. So, you know, all they need to do is legalize that weed, and people will calm on down, and get them white folks their opium, and they calm on down.
but yeah, I just think it's over time historically, because you know, you go back to the house slave, the field slave, the lighter, basically the side babies were the house slaves, whereas the darker complexion slaves were out in the field. So it seems like it's always been a separation, or kind of like a forced separation, and I think it has evolved through time up until the present.
Well, he's not gonna say. I'm gonna say something. I think as a woman who everyone seems to assume is mixed and is not. I have two black parents. I think, and I talk to Vance about this all the time because he likes to joke and call me white, and it bothers me because I at some point on my job every day someone's like, "Well, you know, you white." I've had somebody, a superior to me, describe an incident that she had with the police, and before she said something about the white police officer, she said, "No offense." That was offensive to me because I don't. There's no. I mean, I'm sure there's some mixture, but it's down the lines with people I never even met before. You know.
My family is part of them look like you, part of them look like him. All same
my
mothers.
family too.
Mm-hmm.
He's met my father. My father is very brown. He's not. He's a reddish brown, but he's not fair skinned.
I get what you're saying. So, little side story. My grandmother is very fair skinned. She has green eyes. She looks like she's mixed. She is black. I dated an African, and his mother met my grandmother, and she was just like so shocked, and she just came out and she was like, "Why didn't you tell me that your grandmother was white?" And I looked at her and said, "She's not white. She's black." And then she just was, but she couldn't comprehend how that was my grandmother, and that she thought that she considered herself to be black. To her, she was like, "No, she's a white woman. She's not black." And I'm just like, and we ended up having like a conversation about it, but she just was like, "No," like she just looked at me like, "Why are you lying?" And I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, you should come to a family reunion. We go from the lightest to the darkest." Yeah. But I get what you're saying. How you are offended, and I understand your opinion, and I get that too. Is both sides, because I would say, oh, you from more the tropical side of your family, and you just kind of look like, say what now? Like you like say what now? Like,
But you don't fit in anywhere.
But like, it's
I don't fit in with us, and I'm still black to the white folks. You feel me? But with us, it's just like, but you red, you yellow, and I'm from California, LA. Okay, I can show you some red. I got a cousin who is red, blue eyes, blonde hair. She's black. Okay, I'm not red. Like, I'm not really red. I just have a yellowish tone maybe, but I'm not really red. I always tell people I'm black and 200 pounds under this suit. But I'm being honest, like, it's so annoying, I guess, and it comes up so often that I'm just like, I'm sitting here at the same table with you. What makes you think I was afforded anything that was better? Right. We sitting here breaking bread together. You know what I'm saying? I'm no better than you.
That's why I really
being this complexion didn't get me any further than it's got you. We right here.
I think it's really like a psychological thing, and I hate to say that, but I really think it's bred because we can only speak from our experiences.
You hit the nail on the head though with the psychological thing, because my grandmother, she, God rest her soul, she used to be like, "What's up, ugly?" talking to one of my female cousins. And I'm like, really? And like the other two cousins, you know, they about the difference between y'all two. And they're sisters. Dad kind of about not quite your color, but dad about your color. Daughters look like that. Yeah.
We have the melanin to do that though.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, like you're saying, like the difference between you and like your family, you have like an array of people in your family. Like in my family, even with brown skinned people, and I'm darker than everybody in my family. So it's like, my cousin be like, I don't know how you got here. You darker than everybody else. Like, you still don't match. So it's still brown skinned people. And I'm darker. I'm just darker than them. My shades are too darker than them. But we still have problems there. Because I'm darker than everybody else in my household. So it's like, where you come from? So, you saying that, like, we don't see, I guess we don't experience life the same. But to a certain extent, because you say you don't fit in with the black people and you're not white. So where do you lie at? It's all across the board though. And then, like you say, it's come from slavery when the light-skinned person or the offspring of the master stayed in the house with it. He was afforded a different life than the guy who was out in the field. So this man, he grew up mad at him because he had a better life than him. And it seemed like we brought that on to now.
If I have a son, I'm going to have a preference to my son over anybody else.
True.
That's natural. Nepotism, as you might call it. All right. So back in the day when white folks got in the genes, they going to have a preference for their kids. That's natural. Especially the ones that had more of a conscious or more of a mind frame. Okay, these are my children, even though they buy Sally out there. You know.
So like you said, they were afforded, maybe more opportunity
because they fair skin.
Because of their background, being offspring.
So
it's just alive and well still.
It is.
Yeah. And it's just sad that you would think that we could just in the Black Power movement and everything else, we could really just let that go, and we're not. It's still, and I'm not from the South. Like I said, I'm from LA, so I am from the land of exotic women. Of all different colors. And there's a saying in my family that the black men don't marry black women. The black women marry black men. That's how we keep it going. But the black men, he knows my little brother. My brother is dating a white girl out here.
From what I understand, that's a California trait.
Yeah, it probably is, but that is how it is. There's no black men in my family that are married to black women.
Well, I know I went out to Seattle a long time ago, and as a Southern black man, I had a great time in Seattle.
For a delicacy.
Yes. And an accent, come on.
Yeah.
And the black guys I saw out there, they had them, the Indians, the Native Americans, the Asians, whatever flavor of white girl that they wanted. And it was like, okay. I like black girls. So I was good, And everybody that was getting married was marrying somebody from Mississippi or Georgia. So, it was just it was an experience. But You know.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of my friends. They went to Seattle, and one went, stayed a couple months, one visit, called back like, "Hey man, you need to come up here."
Coming
I ain't
back.
never been.
Other one went. It's like 4 or 5 of them. They all stay,
Oh, yeah.
and all of them married a white girl.
Well,
Every last one.
from what my experience out there, the white women were very friendly and approachable, more so than some of the black girls were. But the black girls were extra friendly too, because they were trying to get chose. And there's a difference between a woman choosing you and you chasing. If you find somebody and you choose them and they choose you back, accept
Yeah,
it.
that's a perfect
That's
match.
good.
Because it's a mutual thing. It's not like both are invested. So, yeah, it's a perfect match. It is. Okay. Speaking from the single person right here, this date. But okay, I wanted to go back to what you said with the 17-year-old man.
Okay. Well, let's take a break and we'll come back. We'll take we'll come back in a little bit for people's. All right, people, we're back from our break. We're gonna try to do another quick session. I think this one though, I'm just gonna cut out the dead space and leave it running because we kind of went all over the place. I think we were going back to the 17-year-olds or something you was talking
Oh
about.
yeah, you talking about the mother, the daughter, the interracial couple, the teenage interracial couple.
Oh no, it was the daughter and the mother and like a young black male.
Okay. So I'm saying, but you were saying like the two teenagers look like they were as a couple.
If they weren't a couple, they would be an odd brother sister pairing.
Okay. Well, I was thinking more so with the parent dynamics, especially in the South. Your teenager most times is gonna be rebellious. So if you don't want your teenager to be with a black, if you're white, you don't want your teenager to be with a black guy. You could use like reverse psychology and be like, okay, let me make sure, if you're not, if you are prejudiced / racist, you'll be like, okay, well, I'm not going to fight her on this, so this will just be a phase. Let me let her grow out of it, date the black guy, the athlete or whatever, and then this and that. But I understand what you were saying as far as genetics, because I find it kind of, I don't know, it just makes me think sometimes, especially when you think about like NFL, NBA players. Majority of them, well, I don't know if it's majority, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of them do have wives that are of different cultural backgrounds or races.
No, they're not. It's not. Now, the problem that you're seeing is you're seeing the exceptional outlier that gets promoted.
The commercialized athlete.
Right. If the guy who is put in front intentionally, so he will show up in the media more. It's like you don't look at the guy that doesn't have the megaphone.
Yeah, but like she's saying, if you look, like you said, being promoted, because most stars, most of them, do date outside the race, though. If you look at it, and I can see, like, I can take
Good credit score.
I can take a couple athletes.
How many black stars are there?
in the NBA?
That you're talking about. If you think about how many NBA teams are there? Is it 52 NBA teams?
32 NBA teams.
All right, 32 NBA teams. How many people play on the NBA team?
15-man roster.
15-man roster. Okay, out of that 15-man roster, you're telling me that all those guys are married to white women?
No,
No.
but I guarantee you,
I think it's
just
a higher
about all of them
percentage.
have dated outside their race.
Okay.
And they probably have married. So if you got a 15-man roster, probably 7 of them are dealing with a white woman right now.
Okay.
Or outside
the race.
Yeah,
Okay, and
I mean, but
is that that's 50%? That's not 100%. Like
50%.
that's half of them. I'm not saying that half of them aren't, but what I'm hearing from my sister over here is not literally my sister, but
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't know the percentage, but I would say it's higher than the regular population.
yeah,
I'd agree with
Just
that.
athletes, yeah.
it's way
I
higher
would
than
I would agree with that, but I mean, if you are a woman, point blank period, you're after resources, and I'm not saying that to be ugly. I'm just saying that to be what it is. And if you got a man who has the potential to choose you, you're gonna present your best foot forward to be chosen. And if these women are being chosen, they're playing the game of just female in general, not I can't get with him because I'm white. No, I see a man over here who has millions of dollars in resources, and I'm going to do the damnedest thing I can to do to get this, hook him, so I can have access to those resources. That's not against female nature in general. So if this is a woman and she's trying to get the most amount that she can get in this life off of her looks, and this guy is here and available, why is she not going to go after him?
Well, I guess she's saying, as a black woman, and not, not speaking for black women.
Let her speak for herself, please.
But I just want to throw it in there. I guess she's saying that why not more of these guys choosing black women instead of going outside their race? Why you can't choose a black woman to spend this money with and have a family with? Why are you choosing another woman of another ethnicity?
I'm gonna go back to your point earlier.
Yeah,
I'm a gangly, lanky, oddly built young black man, and every black woman that I done came across coming up was like, "Nah, you're a hood, you're a booger," treating me like a booger. And now I've come into my manhood and my masculinity, and I'm being chosen. And the women that didn't choose me all these years and didn't want me all these years are now, yeah. So why am I going to choose this woman that was treating me like garbage all these years? And I got all these women that are thirsting after me, and I have my pick of these women that are thirsting after me, and one of them I might just slip up and get with.
But guess what? These women didn't like you either.
Slip up, though. That was the key
Right.
word.
Yeah, these women didn't like you.
Slip up.
They didn't like you initially either.
But they didn't put that energy into me, and by the time I was around them, I was being chosen. Like I said earlier, it's easy when you're being chosen to pick somebody.
Yeah, but like different people have different backgrounds. Like here, like basically it's white or black. But in other places, and if you that like you said, the young man who couldn't get nobody and all the black girls dissing him, well, these white girls wouldn't choose you either in these places. So you have this environment with all these different people and all these different nationalities here, and you still not getting chosen. Why you cannot choose somebody who?
What I'm saying is, and maybe I might not be doing a good job explaining it, but if your first choice is somebody and you are rejected by that somebody your whole life, and you get chosen by somebody, it's a different feeling. That's all I'm saying. If you're chosen, it's a different feeling. These women have made themselves overly available to these athletes. And I'm not saying that the black women are not doing that, but if you're overly available and you're getting chosen back, like Kanye chose Kim Kardashian before Kim Kardashian chose him back. She was, but he chose her. You listen to the 808s where he's talking about what kind of woman he wants to marry. He say he want to marry the biggest porno star. Now, Kim ain't got a whole lot of movies out there, but damn it if she ain't the biggest porno star in America, off of Ray J making her famous and becoming a billionaire, almost a billionaire, several $100 million off of that one tape. She the biggest star of that industry in my opinion because she got the biggest name. She's still on TV, and she's pimped that to the fullest. Now, I think it was 808s that he talked about it on, or the one of
Nightmares, some Nightmares.
Some Nightmares where he was talking about.
I think it was 808.
No, 808s is when he was talking about the whole breakup with his fiance, his girl.
My Beautiful Twisted Nightmare.
Yeah, my Beautiful Twisted Nightmare.
Yeah, he was talking about I want to marry the biggest porno star and do such and such and such and such. And I thought about it. I said he predicted his own future in that album.
Okay. The point I was trying to make, they just made a good point because I do think about that. But it was more so when you were talking about genetically. So I was thinking since, majority of NFL, NBA are black athletes because we're stronger, faster, we're just better, we're more athletic as a race. So I was thinking more so the reproducing.
We got 400 years of selective breeding.
I know. So that's why I was like,
you weak, you dead.
I'm all for black magic. We are the best. Yes, we are. And
if you weak, you dead. I mean, after 400 years, you're gonna have a thoroughbred.
So that's what I was thinking too, with the athletes and the interracial marriages, with having a higher percentage. They're thinking okay, my husband, who is this NBA star.
Nah, they're not worried about them kids. I'm not saying that they don't love their children, but you got a guy who, in a lifetime, you might make $2 million. Average person. Am I wrong? $2 million in a lifetime.
Say it one more time.
In your lifetime, you might make $2 million.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
In a lifetime. That's 30 to 50 years of work. You might make $2 million. I think at this point I've made $750,000 or something over my career total. You know, because you can look up, go to the the Social Security and look up what you made. And you think about it, $50,000 a year, average person, average family of four, but average person, let's say $50,000 a year, even though it's much lower for the average.
Yes, it's much lower for that.
So you're talking about 20 years to get $1 million, right? So
Everybody goes silent.
Yeah.
What a math at again?
20 years
20 years.
Yeah,
All right.
yep, to get a salary.
to get $1 million.
Yeah, that's
Right. Okay, you right.
All right, so I'm not looking at these women to say, oh, nah, they shouldn't be pursuing these athletes. If anything, every woman in America should be pursuing these athletes, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a free for all. You know, you go to the NBA weekend, you're gonna see some women promoting themselves.
Oh, that's groupie heaven.
Right.
No, that's basketball player heaven. That might be groupie hell. Because you got
Good point.
You
Thanks
got-
for the correction. Thanks for the correction. I'll be a real nigga about that. Yeah, good correction. You right.
you know, you got 15 other chicks that look just like you, and 15 other chicks that look way better than you at different shade, scale, whatever their fantasy is, it's there. And you're gonna go there to compete.
You right.
You gotta be on your game.
You better just be going to have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I done been there. I wasn't competing though. Like
But you saw what I'm talking about.
I just see what you're
but
talking
you
about.
know
Like
you-
I have
yeah,
a
you know
friend
your role,
in
though.
Houston. We celebrated one of our friends' birthday during like Christmas holidays. And he looked around the table and he said, "Ain't none of y'all got a baby by an NFL player as much as we used to party with them." And I looked, I was like, "We showed up." But that was our mindset. We wasn't trying to be that baby mama or even, I guess, quote unquote, get chose by them. It was just the homies.
Oh, your friends got morals and stuff. That's good. That's good. Value.
But we would see it, and it would kind of be funny to us because we would be in a limo with them going to the club, and them girls look at us like, "Who are y'all?" We were like, "Oh, that's just my homie."
Yeah.
But they-
trying to
but
figure
see-
out
They,
what's going on.
yeah, they want.
Yeah.
They trying to say if y'all's
So
competition or not.
They were
I
playing for
see
keeps.
it.
Y'all were playing for play, and that's the difference. Because I got a cousin. She married a NFL player. They stayed married for a few years. They got a couple kids together. Brother was a good dude, but you know it is what it is. You know they're no longer together, for as far as I know, and she on to another boat. But that being said, if you're not playing to be chosen, you're not putting out that wife energy. You're not putting out that girlfriend energy, and you've always heard the saying that guys can. The next woman that they get, they might just marry her, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you're the wrong person for them. For somebody, you're the wrong person for them, and you're not the wife. You know, whereas they might see that wife in somebody else because they're doing that wife thing, or the guy might just be like, hell, I'm ready to be married. So
Yeah.
it just depends.
Sure.
You know, but you got to choose the one that chooses you back, and if they choose you back, enjoy each other's company and make the most of it.
Very important.
So, look like you want to say something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, true. Hold up.
All right. Well, I mean, everybody, we want to discuss anything else, or we're gonna wind this one down and come
You
back
got
another
something else you
Friday.
wanna talk about? Since it's your last time.
Hey, that was a good exit. I ain't gonna front. That was a good ass exit.
We only got 28 people watching,
Yeah.
so mom ain't heard nothing. Shit.
I got people rooting for me.
28 can turn to 100 real quick.
I'm put on
Hey.
the comments.
Yeah.
Hit Monique's station.
Yeah.
Like, what?
You got anything?
I'm good. I'm hungry. That's where I'm at.
All right. Well, Queen. You want to
Um,
Okay. Brother Vance?
I really ain't said much all night, so I'm good.
Okay. Sister Monique?
For my first time, I've had a good time. I'm looking forward to the next time.
Hey.
Marcus?
Yo, I had a good time tonight. I appreciate all of y'all at this table tonight. And it's been a good conversation and opinions, for real. And thank you as well, big dog. For real.
All right. Well, this is the ending of our 4th session of Unpopular Opinion 601. I've enjoyed y'all all, and share it with people if you like the conversation. We're going to try and keep this going for a while.
100.
This Mississippi podcast experiment.
Hey.
Comment anything you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
For real.
Topics that you
For
want.
real.
All 28 of y'all.
Right.
Well, we can get past 28 and YouTube not taking down my videos.
Hey. For real.
All right. This has been Unpopular Opinion 601. Peace.
Peace.
100.